evening. Welcome to a very special edition of Focus with Tim Thomas. We're glad you've joined us for this very special edition of our program. We are having a conversation with the Honorable Judge Executive of Hopkins County, Judge Executive Donnie Carroll. And we're going to be talking with him. He is, at the end of this year, he'll be retiring after a long career of public service. And we know that he's not going to be really like just riding into the sunset. There's more to do, but we wanted to bring him on and talk a little bit about some of the things that have happened in these past several years. And so we're glad to have him. Judge Carroll, glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you. And we want to say that we're coming to you from the Mayor's Conference Room in downtown Madisonville here at City Hall. Thanks to Mayor Jackson and his staff for opening the doors to us. Judge Carroll, a long and extensive career of public service.
Yeah,
let's go back and where do we begin at?
October 1964.
Wow.
I was appointed deputy sheriff under Hanson Slayton, and then was under Sheriff for him, and then deputy sheriff under Charles Crafton from 70 to 74. Back then the sheriff couldn't succeed himself.
Yeah.
And then I was fortunate enough that people were nice to me and elected me sheriff 74 to 78. Then I jokingly tell everybody I went to jail for a while because I was a jailer.
Yeah.
And then I left for a while and then came back and ran for judge, and the people have been very gracious to me, and this is my third term I'm finishing, and it's really been an honor because I'm the first judge to be in succession since Hanson Slayton.
Yeah.
Because everyone else had served one term or whatever, so. But it's been a joy. I enjoy the people. We get a few complaints, Of course. And it's interesting sometimes, what people call in about.
Yeah. Well, and talking about Hanson Slayton, he was a character, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. He loved the people. He did, and that's what, I learned a lot from him. There's a lot of things that you can't do that he did back then because of the laws, But, I think we try to do, I don't try to micromanage because all those people that work in the county are awesome.
Yeah.
You got people that's been in authority as far as supervisors and employees that's been here a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
And knew a lot more than I did. And so I just ask them, hey, can you do this? They joke me, I'd give them 2 words. I said, handle it.
Yeah.
So that's become kind of my trademark with everybody over there.
Judge, it has to be though a very stressful job when you have to oversee the business of the county. You're dealing with so many personalities. You're dealing with so many different people. Delegating responsibility has to be the focal point.
And I think that's the thing about it. What happened before, you would maybe have a person who is a supervisor, but everything fell back on the judge to do the hiring.
Yeah.
Well, I changed that to the simple fact is I don't know what those people's qualifications are, and I don't know that supervisor don't know a lot more after he talks to them. So I've always jokingly told the supervisors, I'm gonna look to you. You hire who you think it is because you're the ones accountable for them. So I think you can micromanage too much, and I just think that when you got good people, you trust people, and you go ahead and they handle it. The stress is only there if you make it in some ways. But it gets aggravating sometimes. But it gets hilarious. I had a lady call me one time, and she was complaining about she lived out in the country, and the farmer next to her had put his bales of hay close to her property line, and said it's going to cause snakes. And I'm thinking, I didn't say it to the lady, but I'm thinking, the snake's already out there, lady. You live out in the country, But but some people just don't think about some of the things they call and complain about it.
Yeah.
But we're having a bad problem this year with roads.
Yes.
The winter was bad, and so we're having a lot of problems there. And Of course, when I took office, coal severance we had quite a bit of money coming in from coal severance. And now that's dropped off tremendously. I think our last allocation was something like 180,000 or something like that per quarter. So it's dropped off. We don't have but one coal mines down the county. That's Warrior, belongs to Alliance Coal. But those things, I think, are something we have to look at.
Right, and I would think too, Judge, when a lot of these things that happen as the coal industry and this type of things and coal severance money, people don't realize that the state handles a lot of this, and they think that you can work miracles. You and magistrates can just work miracles, and that's not always possible.
Now, what happens with coal severance, people don't understand, is when in Frankfurt they take it off the top, they call it. Then there's some that comes off the middle, and then when it finally gets down to the counties, and so everybody's already taken some out. There's some large donations that's taken out of it way before it gets to us, and so that's where a lot of it happens, and that's why a lot of the counties have problems. This year we're going to have a budget of about a little over $600,000 maybe for the year. And when I first took office, it was almost $2 million. So there's quite a bit of difference.
Very big difference. Where have you seen the county from where you started to where we are now? Where have you seen the biggest change in our county?
I think, the jobs in a lot of ways, the economy. The economy was dropped there for a while. I think it's recovering. We're seeing a lot more expansion. We're not seeing a lot of relocation here and stuff, but we're seeing people expand. We're seeing those factories, and I know the mayor's been very encouraging to those people. Been out and visited them, and we're seeing economic development continuously trying to get people involved, and but I see that the economy has been one big thing, and we've seen a drop as far as revenue in a lot of ways there. A lot of people when they out in the county, the insurance tax. We always hear a lot about that. They said the jail tax supposed to go away. Well, it was never intended. It was because of the economy at that time when Judge Freimeyer put that in place, and the court, why that was one of the things they were hurting, and that was the way they were going to boost up the economy that way. And the expenditure now, the jail will be paid off in 2020. And at that time, I look for the monies to go into the general fund and try to redo roads or whatever like that. But that's one of those things that people under misconception. But now, most of the cities take the insurance tax, and then so it just leaves those in the county to retire the debt.
Well, we've seen, of course, since during your tenure, we acquired the Justice Center. Then it was kind of up to you to kind of look to see what to do with the old historic courthouse. You made changes there, brought some people in. How did that come about?
I have a guy. I have a nice gentleman named Mike Duncan.
Who is that guy?
And Mike catches the brunt of almost all that for me. But we've gone in and redone the courthouse in some ways. It's leased right now. We have, I think, 2 office spaces left. One is where the old judge's office used to be, downstairs in the basement. But we got the 911 center in there. We've got there's a juvenile justice. There's I'm trying to think of all the different ones. There's some transportations in there. Yeah, and then child support. So there's several that we're drawing revenue from, and it's that helps maintain the courthouse and
Right, but it's still an active courthouse, doing quite well.
Yes.
Doing quite well, and went in and did some remodeling for it to make it user-friendly.
Yes. Changed up where the old courtrooms, we cut those down into office spaces and took a lot of that out and all. So a lot of that was done, and it's been very fortunate for us, I guess we'd say, because of the fact that we'd been able to lease it out that way.
Yeah. You mentioned being serving as jailer at one time for what, about 3 years?
Yes, then I went to work for Lincoln Specialized Haulers in their claims department. Later as the director of safety, and then later I worked for 3 other trucking companies after that.
Wow.
But I spent 20 years at Lincoln.
20 years? Huh. And from there into the county judge, ran for judge executive.
And I just think that, the open door policy is what I have. And people come and a lot of times, and they don't have appointments. And I jokingly say the day I have appointments, it's not that bad. The day I don't have appointments, there was a lot of walk-ins.
Yeah.
So it's good. It keeps you, I just like to talk to people, and if I can help them, I can. If I can't, I have to tell you, that it's not feasible for the county.
And I can attest to that. And the people you have working for you down through the years have been just very, very efficient and very friendly. Let me get the judge, and just walk in and talk with, tell you whatever problem we got, and you let us know yes or no.
That's all you can do.
But it's that one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because some places you go, well, you have to come back, or you have to do this, you have to do that. So I think it makes a difference.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of weddings, but I quit that because of the fact that it was, people would schedule them, did not show up, and a lot of things. So we just quit doing those, and now there's 2 of our magistrates still do them, and so I refer them to them.
Oh yeah. Speaking of magistrates, you've worked with a lot of magistrates down through the years. What's that been like?
It's been interesting. Everybody's got a different personality. And you have to deal with that personality. Some are very aggressive. Some, are more laid back. Some you can talk to, some you can't. We have a lot of committee meetings prior to court, and that's to get the information out in depth of what we're trying to do. And then when we get to court doesn't last that long. I jokingly tell everybody, I think they said the shortest one we'd had is 7 minutes or something like that. And but we try to get everything done in those committee meetings so everybody will be completely informed instead of dragging out 2 or 3 hours in court.
What would you say has been your biggest accomplishment?
I look at several things that's happened. Like you said, the Judicial Center. We've seen with Eddie Ballard, with the Ballard Center. I've been very fortunate to be around, the Humane Society. We've, constructed it. I think one of the big things is our Public Works Department, relocating it and centralizing a lot of things. It's out next to the jail. It's more conducive to getting things done. We did a lot of outsourcing of labor as far as our equipment too, and we were spending a lot of money that was needless. And this way we've got our own maintenance people, we've got all that, and we can do a lot better economically with those things. And we don't have the downtime and all.
You've worked with a lot of mayors here in Hopkins County.
Yes, sir.
Established a lot of friendships.
Yes, sir.
With mayors here in the city of Madisonville. I guess when you come on as judge executive, who was the mayor here in Madisonville at that time?
I guess Will was.
Will,
And one of the things, years ago, back when they had the old civil service, well, Bill Cox had appointed me on the Civil Service Commission. And then, so I had been familiar a little bit with the city, of course, being in the sheriff's office and working with the city police back years ago, because back then we only had sheriff and 3 deputies. When I first started, it was sheriff and 2 deputies. So I jokingly tell Sheriff Sanderson about how many it takes now to take over those jobs. But also, when I was jailer, we'd have about 30, maybe 40 people in jail. And now when I look out, Jailer Mike Lewis has got 400. We got a mini prison.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that, is we didn't have to cope with the things they do today. We had bootleg joints and stills and things like that.
Yeah.
Now the narcotics, we ran up on a little when I first took office in '74. And of course 60 Minutes came in and did a story on it.
Yeah.
But a lot of it now, you see so many young ladies and young men messing their lives up with all these synthetic drugs.
Yeah.
People saying bath salts and and all those things, and and when you start looking at our jail roster out there, that's what you find. Is somewhere in there's drugs, and a result of doing their habit, they're stealing or whatever, to do that, to make that go.
Wow. I would think, we're talking about mayors, but I don't have no idea, but I really believe this, that Mayor Frank Stafford probably called you more than any mayor in Hopkins County. Because Mayor Stafford would call you from the car and talk, and
Mayor wasn't ashamed to ask for anything, okay? But Mayor got things done.
he really did.
He got at least $3 billion grants for the city and housing. He was very active in the community, and he was one that that he'd call, and you could sit and talk to him for a long time, and he when he built the new city hall, so he done a lot for that community, and you see all the mayors have their heart in running those communities, because when you look at the budgets those people have to fool with, and what they would love to do and what they can't do, and it's just overwhelming that I'm blessed to be in the county and be a part of it, and then you try to help the cities as much as you can, and but there's so much that you can do, and there's so much that people understand that state law prohibits us from doing.
Yeah. But we've seen a lot of changes in the county as a whole. We look at the expansion of Hanson, how Hanson is changing. Morton's Gap has changed. All these communities Arlington, changes are coming about on a limited budget.
I know we've applied for another $1 million housing grant. And that's the thing about it, you don't know, we have to do a match with it. And so we've checked to see if we can utilize maybe some of the coal severance money to do some of that. And so we're waiting on that, but we have to get it approved. But there's several applicants already come in, and but we're trying to get veterans and single parents and things like that we can help.
Right. We can't really go any further without talking about your better half. I call her First Lady of Hopkins County all the time when I see her, because she has really stuck by you through all these years.
Yes, sir. My boss. At home. I have 2 in the office or more. So I jokingly tell everybody I'm well supervised. I learned one thing is, yes ma'am, I'll get you about anything. When I fool with the boss. But Judy's been very active in the community and helping me with the campaigns and things like that, and very supportive. And she understands a lot of times the hours we put in, or the trips and different things like that, because you serve on several committees, and just like you're gone somewhere, and I had the honor of serving as the chairman of the Kentucky Coal and Mineral Council, and it's in Frankfort, and I served as chairman of that. And then we were able this year, last year, to give a $1,500 scholarship at Central, and this year we gave a $1,500 scholarship at North. And so they've been that's one of the things that I've been able to do with that. I'll be through with that in July 1. So then I've served as over the chairman of the water and wastewater thing at PAD, a vice chairman at PAD right now, and so I've been finance officer and I've been secretary, so it keeps you busy, with all the things. And I'm involved in the American Legion, so I think that there's a lot of things we can get involved in. And I jokingly tell everybody now that I'm still going to show up for court meetings just to be in the grievance committees. Somebody's got to complain about something.
It wouldn't be life if it didn't.
So that's what I joke about.
Right. World War II vet?
I'm a vet, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Served in the United States Air Force from 1958 to 62. I jokingly was stationed overseas, but I was stationed in Sonnestrom, Greenland.
Wow.
Which is the Miami, the North, they call it. And jokingly, everybody, I told them there's a woman behind every tree. I couldn't find a tree anywhere. So we, you know, it's been interesting. I've loved where I've been and enjoyed the serving, and so it's been a challenge. But that's where I picked up. I went through the Air Police Academy when I was in the Air Force, and then served in that for the 4 years. And then some guy called me the other day and said, "You know, you were the first trained sheriff that they ever had," and I hadn't thought of it until then. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I said, "Oh, okay."
What would you like to see for as we go into 2019 and beyond? What would you like to see for Hopkins County?
I still would like to see the cooperation that we've had in the courts and the councils and all. I think we all have one mind as far as to see the county grow and see the people served. And I think that's just what I want to continue. I know that people are going to gripe and complain about taxes. I don't know why they do that. But anyway, I think that just seeing people get together. Well, you know, we're such a giving community when you get looking at it. People don't understand that. And I found jokingly, I tell a lot of people, one of the things I saw not long ago, I went through the Great Banquet. And it's a hidden jewel here, and you know, that people don't realize. And just to get away those 3 days, you know, that Thursday evening to Sunday evening, with no phones, no anything, you know, and just listening to the Word of God. It's very refreshing.
It really is.
And it gets you, you know, a little motivated and gets your mind off all the clutter, and kind of renews your spirit a little bit there, you know.
It really does.
But that's, I think, just people being involved in our community and just seeing, like the things that's going on now with the Friday Night Lives and all, people can come out and see each other because we don't see our neighbors like we used to.
No.
You know, years ago, you knew everybody around, and when I grew up, you know, everybody corrected you. Even if you were 3 blocks away, somebody could correct you, put you on the street. You're right. And your mama knew about it before you got home.
That's right. That's right. Then you got another whooping.
And I think that's one of the things, you know, we see a lack of. And that's, you know, and I think it's scary, you know, some of the things that you see now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Well, you're right about the Great Banquet. It is one of the hidden jewels of this community. And having went through that myself, I tell you, but when I came out, I mean, I was just on cloud nine. I mean, you go in and you just come out refreshed, as you said. Just, I mean, it's just something to really be a part of. And I know your Christian faith plays a big part in your career as well. Without God and through health issues that you went through, and without Him, you have to have faith in Him.
He's been marvelous to me. More than good.
That's right. So you're blessed.
I am truly blessed.
You are truly blessed with a good family, good friends, and good people. A lot of people don't have that.
Right.
So that means a lot. We're kind of coming down to the close, Judge, and I just want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
For our friendship and for what you have meant to not only the county but to me and to others as well. You've really been committed.
Thank you.
And you've done the best you can, and that's all you can do.
All you can do
is
just do it, and then you know, perception's reality. And that's what a lot of people perceive it one way. You think you're doing it right, and of course sometimes you stick your foot in your mouth. So you know, but it's been a blessing to me. And like I said, I've enjoyed serving the people of Hopkins County, and they've been great to me. I just can't say enough about how good our people are. You know, I'm reminded of the sign at one of the towns says there's so many happy people on one old sore head. So every once in a while we'll run up on a sore head.
But all in all, it's a good community and a good county, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the people here are blessed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Judge, 6 months, you'll hang up your hat. Someone new will walk into your shoes and fulfill the office of County Judge Executive. I know you'll be there to counsel and do what you can. And like I said, you're not really riding off into the sunset because you do so many community active things. You'll be able to do it when you get ready.
There you go. Thank you, Tim, for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to have you back just to kind of do a big send-off for you.
All right. Thank you.
Been joined here with the Hopkins County Judge Executive Donnie E. Carroll. He's been our guest for Focus with Tim Thomas. We hope you will tune in to another edition of our program and be a part of the good things that are taking place here in the community of Madisonville and Hopkins County. By all means, keep sharing the dream.